In the cold silence of space, a single act of compassion changed the fate of an entire species. Picture this: a shattered human ship drifting in the void, its crew gone, except for one child. 6 years old, alone, terrified. And then, against all logic, an alien scout chose mercy over orders. They shielded that child when every reason said to leave her behind. What happened next? Earth didn't just thank them. Earth declared, harm one of them, and you answer to all of humanity. If stories like this make you lean closer, hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps this channel keep exploring the wildest corners of HFY sci-fi. And if you've got friends who love the idea of humans rewriting galactic politics over one child's life, share this video with them. Trust me, they'll thank you for it. The stars above the Orion Arm burned with an indifferent light. They had watched civilizations rise and collapse, fleets burn, and worlds vanish without shedding a single tear. Against that vast and uncaring canvas, a single human vessel, Aurora's Hope, drifted as nothing more than twisted metal. Its hull was ruptured. Its crew was silent. Only one fragile heartbeat remained. In the nursery bay, amid sparks and smoke, a 6-year-old girl clung to life. Her name was Laia. She had no family left, no crew, no rescue beacon powerful enough to reach Earth in time. Just a battered suit, a stuffed toy pressed against her chest, and a voice so small it barely carried beyond the wreckage. But it was enough. Because on that day, a Zither scout named Zeicra passed through the debris field. Now the Zither were not saints. Far from it. They were nomads, pragmatic scavengers, endlessly wandering the stars aboard crystalline vessels that shimmered like liquid glass. Their way of survival was simple. Take what was useful, leave the rest behind. To them, humans were just another species burning too fast and too bright, destined to scatter themselves across the void like ash. Zeicra was young, barely past their first cycle of awareness, tasked with scanning wrecks for salvage. To them, the Aurora's Hope should have been just another derelict to strip. But then, their sensors caught something odd, something rhythmic. A heartbeat. Curiosity tugged at them. And curiosity among the Zither was both a gift and a curse. Inside the shattered nursery bay, Zeicra found her. A small figure in a torn environment suit curled around her stuffed toy. Her eyes were wide, glassy, frightened, but she didn't scream. Instead, she whispered one question. "Are you here to take me home?" The words pierced deeper than any sensor reading ever could. Zeicra had no concept of home. To the Zither, home was a ship, a crew, a fragile existence strung between the stars. But in that moment, the child's voice stirred something different, something older, something like compassion. Against orders, against logic, Zeicra extended a glowing tendril of their bioluminescent form. They wrapped her in warmth, pulsing a simple message through harmonic resonance. You are safe. When Zeicra returned to the fleet with Laia hidden aboard, the Zither Council erupted. Elders flared with disapproval, their crystalline bodies shimmering sharp with anger. "This is a liability," declared Clive, the strategist. "Humans are volatile. Their wars spread like fire. We cannot afford their notice." Zeicra's light flared back, bright with defiance. "She is a child. She is no threat. To abandon her is to abandon what makes us more than scavengers." The council hesitated. Against their colder instincts, they permitted the girl to remain, confined to Zeicra's quarters, hidden from most of the fleet. Days turned into weeks. Zeicra shared nutrient gels, taught her the patterns of their harmonic language, listened as she spoke of oceans, skies, and the warmth of Earth. For Zeicra, who had never known a world of trees or seas, her words were like windows to a universe beyond survival. For Laia, Zeicra became more than a protector. They became a friend, but secrets never stay buried in the void. One day, a technician monitoring long-range signals intercepted a faint, looping distress call from the wreck of the Aurora's Hope. It carried a child's trembling voice. "This is Laia Marie Carter, age 6, from Earth. If you hear this, please tell my mom I'm okay." The signal reached human space. And Earth responded. The United Terran Coalition dispatched a cruiser, the Valiant Dawn, to the neutral zone. Its captain, Elena Ruiz, made contact with the Zither fleet. Her message was calm, almost soft, but the weight behind it was unmistakable. "We know you have one of ours. Return her, and we will leave in peace." Panic swept through the council. They had not known about Laya's signal. Some argued to hand her over immediately, if only to avoid the storm they feared humanity could unleash. Others whispered darker solutions: expel her into space before humans could arrive. And then, before their voices could fracture into a final decision, the child herself walked into the council chamber, pale, trembling, but unafraid. She clutched her stuffed toy, her small voice steady. "Don't send me away. Zeicra saved me. They're my friend." The chamber fell silent. For all their centuries of wandering, the Zither had no defense against the raw, unfiltered courage of a 6-year-old human child. The meeting with humanity soon followed. The Valiant Dawn docked with the Zither flagship. Captain Ruiz stepped aboard, flanked by guards but unarmed, a gesture of trust. When Laya saw her, she ran forward, tears streaming, but she didn't let go of Zeicra's glowing tendril. "They kept me safe," she cried. "Don't hurt them." Ruiz knelt, meeting the girl's eyes. "No one's hurting anyone, sweetheart. You're going home." Then she looked at Zeicra. Her voice dropped, her question simple but cutting. "You protected her. Why?" Zeicra's light pulsed softly in reply. "Because she needed us. Because it was right." That moment, quiet, almost unremarkable to the wider galaxy, was the spark that would set everything ablaze. Because Earth did not forget. And Earth did not forgive kindness with silence. What happened next would shake the balance of power across the stars. When Laya returned to Earth, the galaxy thought the story was over. A child rescued. An alien showing compassion. A reunion. The kind of tale that lights up news feeds and then fades. But humanity had something else in mind. At the Galactic Summit, where dozens of species gathered in gleaming halls carved from asteroids, Earth's ambassador stood and delivered words that stunned even their allies. For shielding one human child, the Zither have shown compassion greater than politics. In return, Earth declares the Zither under our protection. Any who threaten them, threaten us. It was not a treaty. It was not a contract. It was a vow. The reaction was immediate. The Croth, a warrior species with armored hides and hive-like unity, scoffed at the declaration. To them, humans were reckless children, bold talkers with fleets too small to matter. The Valani Concord, a web of bureaucrats and merchants, filed protests, warning that Earth was overstepping. But to smaller, scattered species, those often ignored or exploited, the message spread like fire in dry grass. Humanity had drawn a line, not for resources, not for territory, but for loyalty, and that terrified the powers who ruled by fear. The Zither themselves? For the first time in centuries, they felt seen. Zeicra, summoned to Earth as a hero, stood awash in the chaos of human cities. Neon lights, the smell of food carts, the laughter of children in parks, these sensations overwhelmed their crystalline senses. Yet it was Laya, hand in hand, guiding them through it all. "This is home," she whispered. "You should stay." Zeicra could not. Their fleet needed them. But the bond between them and Laya was no longer just survival. It was family. Of course, vows invite tests. Months later, the Croth launched a raid on the Zither S outpost near the Vale of Arrows, a nebula rich in resources the Croth had coveted for generations. Their reasoning was simple. Earth's promise was a bluff. Surely no species would bleed for nomads they barely knew. But the Croth underestimated one thing: humanity's stubbornness. The distress signal reached Earth, and the Valiant Dawn, still under Captain Elena Ruiz, jumped into the fray. It wasn't the largest fleet humanity could muster, but it didn't need to be. Human ships were smaller, less advanced than Croth war barges, but Ruiz had something the Croth did not: audacity. When the Croth arrived, they found human ships already in formation, shielding the Zither outpost. The battle was swift, brutal, and unforgettable. Ruiz didn't try to overpower the Croth. Instead, she cut their communications, disabled their propulsion, and forced them into retreat. For every Croth vessel forced to limp away, a human ship bore scars. Lives were lost. But Earth held the line. The Croth broadcast their fury. The Zither are not worth this. Ruiz's response, sent across open channels for the entire galaxy to hear, was simple. They are to us. Those 4 words hit harder than any missile. The Zither, watching from their shimmering vessels, pulsed with awe. Zeicra's voice carried across the comms, trembling with emotion. You fought for us, you lost lives for us. Ruiz's reply was steady. Laia told us what you did. That's worth more than ships. From that moment, the galaxy shifted. The Zither and humans built something not out of politics, but out of trust. Laia, growing older, trained as a diplomat, carrying both Earth's warmth and Zeicra's lessons with her. Her childhood toy, the one she clutched in the wreckage, sat on her desk, a symbol of how compassion had rewritten history. Zeicra, now elevated within the Zither Council, argued passionately for deeper ties with Earth. Even Clive, once the cold strategist, admitted with reluctant respect, perhaps we underestimated them. Their strength lies not in ships, but in their hearts. Whispers spread among minor species long ignored by the great powers. If humans would fight for nomads over one child, what else might they do? The Croth licked their wounds, plotting revenge. The Velani tightened their paperwork walls. But neither could shake the new reality. Humanity was not to be measured by fleets alone, but by loyalty that could not be bought, bribed, or intimidated. And in her quiet room years later, Laia kept a Zither crystal glowing softly on her nightstand. A gift from Zeicra. Every night it reminded her of a bond that had changed the stars. So what began with one child adrift in the void became a promise that shook the galaxy. A single act of kindness turned scavengers into allies and forced powerful empires to rethink what humans were capable of. Not just ships, not just weapons, but loyalty. Unbreakable, uncompromising loyalty. And maybe that's the secret of humanity in the stars. While others count resources and weigh strategy, humans draw their strength from something far harder to calculate: the willingness to stand for each other. Even, or perhaps especially, for strangers who once had no reason to believe in them. If that story struck a chord with you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the best HFY sci-fi stories. And hey, share this with someone who needs reminding. Sometimes the smallest act of compassion changes the entire universe.